welcome back to the Western Centurion channel and another Sunday down in the Four Seasons garage. Albeit a bit of a manky Sunday. It is raining quite nicely outside, so it's lovely to be in this nice warm garage. Yes, this is an update. It's not so much a fiddle yard update because I haven't really done much to it, because one of the things I'm really starting to learn is that you've always got to be 4 or 5 steps ahead of yourself. So one of the things I've decided that I can't do and don't want to do is just concentrate on the fiddle yard and getting all the track down, because if I do that without planning ahead on the top section, I will run into problems later on, as I've already sort of like discovered with the inclines on where they emerge from the fiddle yard onto the top surface. But basically they've had to go where they are because I can't fit them anywhere else. I can't fit them that side of the garage because it's too short. So what I've been doing is I've been working and playing on the top section to see how it turns out. Now, I know a lot of people like to use some software to do their track plans. I've tried that. I've tried AnyRail, lovely bit of software, but I just can't envisage what it's going to look like. It looks all great on a piece of paper, but I just can't get it in my mind what it's going to be like. So I think I'm one of those people who's got to be more practical and actually have some track laid down, so I can see how much space it's actually going to take up, and because it's pretty much in 3D to me. So that's what I've been doing. One of the first things I had to do was to go to the Wiltshire and Swindon History Centre in Chippenham. Now, Debbie and I went there last Saturday, and we got the track plans back out again for Wootton Bassett Junction, but this time I took some measurements of the platforms, station buildings, and the things like the cattle pens, and I think it was the horse pens as well. So I took all those measurements in millimetres. I drew them, wrote the measurements on some photographs I took with me. So when I got back, I then had to convert those back into feet, because the plans are actually 40 feet to 1 inch. So I've done all those and I've actually marked it all out on the board here, and I expect you can already see there's some track down, and I'll show you that in a minute. But that was really helpful to go there. So I would suggest to any of you out there who are wondering or would like to know what track plans to use, is just go to the National Archives, and for me, I just went in, I put GWR track plans, and lo and behold, it brought them up for me. And I contacted the Wiltshire and Swindon History Centre, and they got those track plans in from the National Archives for me to look at. So brilliant idea, go and do it. I'll put the link in the description, so you can find it quite easy to get there. Okay, I'll also put in the Wiltshire and Swindon History Centre link for any you local people who would like to go there. Full of information, and the staff there are fabulous. They're more than happy to help. So yes, that's what I did last Saturday, and I spent spent the week in here bit by bit, converting the measurements and laying some track down, or just placing some track down. It'll all have to come up again. Now, one of the ideas was, or one of the things I was worried about, was whether I'd get it to fit on this side. So I did receive some messages and stuff like that, and people mentioning about fitting it the opposite side, and I thought that was a great idea, and I can do it, but that would mean having to bring that out 3 feet. I probably still will have that 3 feet, but obviously I can't have it 3 feet all the way along. So another idea, or one of the reasons of putting the track down like I have, is that I can actually see if I can fit it on here. And the good news is I can. obviously I have had to sacrifice the majority of the track plans I wanted to put in because there's absolutely no way it would fit on, and you'll see that in a mo. So it's worked. I'm quite happy with it, but obviously I'm sure that you'll be able to give me a bit more advice on better ways of doing it. All right. So yeah, let me get the camera off the tripod and I'll take you around. You can see what I've come up with. Okay, back in the mo. Right, and welcome back. And I'll start off with this little section of map here, or the track plans. Now this is pretty much all of the track plans that I went to see in Chippenham last Saturday. You see that's the line that goes off to Wales, and this is the one that goes off to Bristol. But what I've done, I've built this section here from the bridge, from the bridge there through the station. We've got a good shed, and we've got the cattle pens there. So all of this track plan is what, up to the ruler, is what I've created so far. Okay, so at least I can fit in one signal box. So if we come around here, get in the focus. Yes, brilliant. I'll try and lift the camera up a bit higher. So I have drawn out the station with the platforms. So we have the ramps here. This is where the bridge would have been in this section, going across the road bridge. Put in the oh no, footbridge. That's it. Drawn in the footbridge. I think that's pretty much the scale. Whilst I was there, I didn't actually do the measurements for that, but yeah, I think it's pretty much to scale. If I come up a bit more, we've got where there would be a station here and a station building that side. So if we have a look up on here, there, look. Oops, sorry, there. So we've got the two station buildings. Now this is from 1960, and that's how I think I will actually do the platforms on the station, is from that period. Although we have 1920s there. So we've still got two buildings, which is good. And then here you can see, I think just down here is where the horse landing was. As you see, there's a lot of horses. So we come back, we'll go along a bit more. Now here we have the horse landing along here with the ramp, and then we have what was called a carriage chute. Now, I'd never heard of that before. I'm going to have to look into it a bit more. All I've been able to find quickly so far is that the carriage chute was a was like a box van, or might have been a carriage, but I can't see how a carriage was placed in here. We look at the map here. Now it says carriage chute, but the tracks stop there, unless it was a static carriage. But the other thing, it might be, because this is a horse landing, it might actually be carriages pulled by horses might have parked up in there. But as I say, I don't know. I'm going to have to look a bit more. If any of you know, that would be great. That would be really helpful. So I've still got to finish this off if I was going to do it, because I need a ramp up here as well, which is that ramp there. Now the other thing is, it's a bit close to the edge here, so I've got plenty of room at the back here to move the whole thing back a little bit further, but that might cause a few problems further up that way, which we'll see now as we work our way up. So we come to the first set of points here. Oops. See, put down. Yeah. So we have our first set of points here, which will then take us up onto the section here for the goods shed, or I think it was actually called a lockup on the map, but it doesn't look very big, does it? I know there's a crane there, because I remember when I used to do my bit of train spotting, this is where I used to sit, was on here, and I do remember we used to be able to get into that shed in there as well, but the crane had gone. So let's stand back a bit. There we are. So we've got the up line and the down line, and then we've got this turnout here which takes us up to the cattle pens when it comes to a stop. But if you see that pencil mark just there, you can see it cuts through the cattle pens. Well, that is the section that will have to be cut out for the incline, so that will all be exposed. But there's absolutely no problem with actually, shall I say, moving this in down here. And then because I've got all this space over here to play with, now if I take you, see this piece of track here, let me take you back to these photographs. I hope it is these. Yes. If we look at that one there, you'll see the goods shed there with the crane, and then we've got this little shed here with some motor cars. It's like it was a garage, a mechanic's garage. Well, what I was thinking is, instead of having a little shed or a little garage, why not make that into an engine shed? I don't think there's ever one at Wootton Bassett Junction, but hey, it's my layout, and if I want an engine shed, I can have an engine shed, and that will be perfect to fit it into there. So that will be an option I'll have a look at. And then we come down towards the end of what I can do. So we've got two crossovers here, and that's where the track runs off. So all I've got to do is work out a way of getting these. I probably might have to join some of these up together just to have a single track going around, but I haven't got that far yet. That's still all to come. This piece of track here I've got coming off, and what I'd like to do is to continue it down here and then along this side of the station. Now, there was never one a track that came along here, but whilst I was at the history centre, I did have a look at some what was it, water. There were scale plans for where the water would be situated at Wootton Bassett Junction. So obviously this is the water that would feed the water towers for to feed the locomotives in certain areas, and that would have been in these areas. There are a lot of water tanks around here, so all these were pretty much like sidings, all the yellows, and locos could pull up in there and they could fill up with water. And those plans showed that Great Western Railway were thinking of widening the bridge that went across here and bringing a third track in this side of the station, but that never materialised. But what did happen was that just after the platform here, there were a set of points put in, I think let's say like that, which then took the track off down here, and what now takes you into the quarry. So I do have an option of putting a quarry in down here at some point, but I'm still not sure if that's what I want to do. But the main thing is, I just wanted to show you that I can actually fit Wootton Bassett Junction on this side of the layout, which would then leave me the other side as a totally blank canvas to do something completely different, and that makes me happy. And what also makes me happy is just to be able to see how big Wootton Bassett Station is to 00 scale. See, it is quite big. I think just under 6 feet in length altogether, and comfortably fit 6 coaches in there without a problem. So that's pretty much it actually. Oh well, let me just show you the map. We'll start from the beginning. So this is coming from Swindon direction. Come along, we go underneath the road bridge. We then got the station all the way along here. Got the goods shed, the cattle docks up there. We've got the signal box, or that's signal box east. Then we come along here, and then this is where the 2 main lines start to split off to go to Wales and to go to Bristol. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is where the signal box would have been, and probably where the signal box will go. So it's Wootton Bassett signal box east. And then down here would have a set of signals. I think there's another set of signals about here somewhere. So everyone, that's it. By all means, please give me some comments on if you've got any ideas on how I can actually add to this. It's all going to have to come up again, obviously, and I'll probably move it over that way slightly to give a bit more room at the front. Alright, so that's it. Thank you very much. Have a fabulous week, and hopefully see you again next weekend. Bye bye.